Hello everyone and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So today is Friday the 21st. Another global lab patch notes has dropped. So I kind of skimmed the notes a little bit, but I haven't read it in detail. And for all of you who are new, first time watching, global lab is the test server. From today, Friday, it usually goes to the live server in about a week. So it's a good idea to prepare in advance in case anything on the market changes and you have a week head start essentially. So anyway, if you want to read this for yourself, it's translated from Korean to English and I'll try to make it make sense, but usually these are pretty accurate. All right, so what do we have first? We have some class changes. Warrior is changing. So the past week, they've been updating the 4 classes that were on the hardcore server and a few extras on the side. But yeah, I think Pearl Abyss is actually using the hardcore server as an example of balance, which I think is kind of scary actually, because none of the gear that you have on the hardcore server actually reflects to real gear because it's just way off, and then apparently it's not like 1-to-1. So anyway, yeah, that's weird. Anyway, Warrior is one of those classes. Some damage changes. And, ooh, this looks like a nerf for PvE. And then PvP changes. It kind of reflects the same in here. So I think Warrior damage is getting a nerf, which I don't actually know. Like, when I played Warrior on hardcore, I've played Warrior on seasons and a little bit off of it. I actually thought Warrior was overall balanced and, you know, above average because they have a very strong block. So if they had like top damage and the strongest block, that would be OP. But yeah, I didn't think they had a problem. So maybe I could be wrong for all of you Warrior experts out there. Just an interesting look on that one. Sorcerer, or the Sorceress. What is changing? More damage nerfs across the board for all these abilities. What are my thoughts on Sorceress? I always thought they were doing fine as well. I didn't think they really needed change at all, but interesting to think that Pearl Abyss needs it. Oh, look at that. Another class from the hardcore. That's 3 of them right down the list. Okay. Awakening Ranger is being adjusted to reduce the complexity of its skill activation structure, thereby lowering the character's overall difficulty and control. Buffs and debuffs scattered across various skills have been consolidated. Changes have been made to skill controls and more smoothly. I think that's overall a good thing. Ranger, it does have a high ceiling. Like, learning curve is tougher, but overall, in terms of damage and everything, I think Ranger is doing just fine. But the fact that they're making it flow easier and it's smoother, I think that's a great change. All right, so the effect of reducing all defense when the skill of this has been changed to 2030. Cool. I don't know Ranger that well, but I've played it a little bit. Ooh, that's so these numbers, the way you should look at it, these are PvE damage, and then they scale it with the PvP. At least that's what I've noticed in years of patch notes reading. So higher PvE, more damage. That's cool. Awakening. Movement speed reduction on successful hit has been removed. Interesting. That looks like a lot of changes, actually. Just, I don't know Ranger well enough, but that looks like a lot of changes. So I'm actually curious, for all of you Ranger players, do you like these changes? I think from what the dev note said, they wanted to make it smoother and like a easier to learn class. I think that's great though. The phenomenon of invincibility being applied when evading while in spirit stored state has been fixed. Archer. Okay, so my thoughts on Archer. Very strong class. If you don't get hit, stay at range, don't get grabbed, you're doing great. If you get grabbed, you're not doing great. Okay. So, damage nerfs. Oh, everything is a nerf. Okay, the messenger, Atoraxxion. Atoraxxion Succession has been adjusted to emphasize its assassin concept, focusing on air attack. While using knockdown effects have been more challenging, you can now leverage high damage of air attacks through floating. That's an interesting take, actually, because the way Atoraxxion plays is most of your damage comes in from the tornado snake thingies, and I always thought that was both knocked. I knew that was air, but I thought people played more knockdown. Because knockdown across the board, no matter what class you play, is probably the strongest CC. Because when people get knocked down, they can get floated and comboed into another CC. But air attacks are not equal to knockdowns. So, I don't know, actually. For all of you Atoraxxion players, I think, in my opinion, knockdown is the better CC over air attack. But if this changes it for the better, that's awesome. So, like, if you do air attack, what would your second CC be? So, float in, like, people would do knockdown into float. I guess it's still the same, but it's harder. But if people are just going to go straight air attack into something else for your second CC, I wonder how that would be. So, that's more of, like, the technical side of everything. And, Atoraxxion got to change. Admittedly, I don't know a lot about this, but that looks like a lot of skills actually getting changed. That looks like all of them, actually. Okay, Nova. Shy and Nova. Okay, if they're making changes, before I read anything, here's what my opinions are. Awakening Nova needs to be toned down, and Succession Nova needs to be buffed. What do they need to change about Shy? Because Shy is very strong. Okay. Okay, so this one's for Nova. Widely used in node wars and sieges to block external attacks on forts and annexes. Often, so is this the one where it summons the clones in front of you? I don't know Succession Nova that well, but I know Awakening a little bit better. But either way, it's just entry level. So people were creating Nova clones to block the forts in Node Wars, so where people cannot hit the structures. I mean, if you're doing that, that sounds like a strategy attempt, and apparently were people complaining about that? That seems like, you know, something like fair game, in my opinion. Sometimes led to forts or gates becoming invincible. Okay, that's a problem, but, you know, just blocking it off itself, it seems like it's fine. Causing node wars and conquest to be extended based on a single skill, then goes overall strength. Okay, yeah, that makes sense then. Like, if it's literally, you know, making something invincible, that's a problem, but just blocking it is not. Playing Shy and Nova found themselves... Oh, yeah, so Shy buffed into Nova invincibility. I guess that makes sense. I never really considered that, but it's kind of funny now that I think about it. All they have to do is make it so the forts aren't invincible, and then like if you're using that as a fair strategy, I think it's good. All right, so shies are getting changed. What is happening? Come and hide skill has been changed. No longer blocks external attacks. I see people using that in PvE in the boss splits as well. You know, I think that's the bubble thingy, right? Yeah, that's the bubble. Okay, so you know how people are using it as like a permanent CC immunity as well? In the, what's that Firebird Bong Wang? I see people doing that there. And then shies get the few second advantage. All speed reduction effects on enemies within the area have been removed. I think that is fair, actually. Because, like, with this day and age, everyone does so much damage, even though we're in, like, DR meta. I think this would just is annoying. Change to grant 50% evasion rate increase to all allies except yourself within the area. How do I feel about that? Evasion rate increase. That affects, like, half the classes. I don't think this is a good thing. It should just be, like, I don't even know. Like, evasion rate literally doesn't even affect some classes as much as it does others. So they're basically saying shy for evasion players is very good, but everyone else it's not. Change to give all enemies within the area a 50% hit rate reduction effect. I think it should just be this one. Like, remove the evasion rate out of here, and just, like, this one, make it maybe 60% or something, and I think that would be good. Change the skill cooldown from 5 minutes to 4 minutes. Good. The scope of technology has grown in size. I think that means AoE radius has been increased. That's good. Okay, well, I don't know how I feel about that change, but it is what it is. Succession Nova. Okay, so Sage. Improved the ability to change directions before attacking using the skill. I think that's good. Fix an issue where a flash break would not hit targets within close proximity. Yeah, I did notice that. I had Sage tagged for a while, and I do know Sage a little bit, so that's a good thing. All right, the new 4th dungeon, the Orzekea, that came out as of yesterday. Basically, the story mode is available now, and I believe the 5-person dungeon comes out next week. All right, the final chapter of Atoraxxion, the 4th dungeon, the 5-player co-op battle with the blah, 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 flavor text. People want to know when. I believe that's next week, either way. So I think they changed it in terms of how you fight the boss. Like, you can grind for something, or you can like fight a boss or something. So detailed features. Okay, so the way you obtain the dagger, which is the thing to challenge the final boss, or according to the first 3 dungeons, that's how you do it, can be obtained by different things. Okay. Recommended AP and DP. Normal 300, 380. Elvia 330, 420. For Elvia, that's basically endgame, to be honest. Like, 420 DP is basically full. Is that full TET or try? I think that might be try DP, and then 330 is at least Pen Sovereign with Karazad. So the loot you get from here is basically Debos and stuff, and new crystals. New titles for doing this X amount of times. Cool. 2 chests for doing Elvia, and okay, so the rewards you get are based on normal and Elvia, same as usual. All right, so the red battlefield has been changed for, quality of life, and there's a now queue feature, kind of like Arena of Solaire. Matching. If a red battlefield penalty is imposed, you will not be able to apply for matching for a certain period of time. It's kind of like if you leave or AFK and get kicked out, you get a penalty, and then each penalty tier goes higher. So it discourages people from leaving. They go in and then see that they're losing by like 1,000 points, and they just take the penalty. I think that if they add a leaving system or like a penalty, they really need to balance the teams. Like, have you ever gone into an RBF and you're getting rolled and there's no chance of recovery? They need to fix that. Like, there's a reason why RBF people only go in there for the rewards. One, it's not really rewarding, which they're gonna change, I believe. But two, it's just like no one wants to get rolled for like 20 minutes when there's no chance for comeback. All right, so after the change, you get 25 battlefield tokens, and then losing is 10. It's the red battlefield seals, I believe, that are what they're talking about, the things that make the resistance crystals. So that's good. More crystals are going to be available. Number of RBF tokens required for a change for Orzeka belts or accessories. That's good. You could buy Perfume of Courage. Wow, 10 times a week. That should be like 30 times a week or something. Even maybe 50. Because you know how people just pop these? You use 3 an hour. Okay, well, these are interesting rewards. I mean, it's better than what we currently have, so that's cool. So, overall, adding a matchmaking system for RBF. See how it goes. That could be very good or very bad, depending on how they balance it. Guild League returning. Last November, the first regular season came to an end. Dude, Guild League is so inconsistent. I don't even understand. Okay, but anyway. New season of Guild League coming out next week till end of May, essentially. And what people care about. What are the rewards? They're the same thing, except slightly more. Still bad. All right. Well, added hardcore server leaderboard or integrated ranking UI, essentially a leaderboard. Probably. Why is that the thing you change? You know what you should be fixing about hardcore server? Literally everything except the leaderboard. Okay, well, anyway. Let's read it. A new mysterious warrior has appeared searching for adventures on the hardcore server. Basically, a boss enemy will grant you high survival score and a chance to obtain rare equipment items. Oh, you can get yellow gear, you can get blue gear, and yellow grade boxes. You know what I don't understand? Why do weapons break so easily on the hardcore server? Like, that should be the last of your problems, to be honest. Especially the green gear. Like, if it was yellow one and they want to balance it, they should make the yellow ones with lower durability. And same with the blue ones. But, like, the green ones, I don't think they thought about this one. So, and either way, like, getting all this yellow gear and then it breaks 5 minutes later or something seems kind of weird. Let's see. You can get traveler's maps in here. Interesting. New quests for all of this one. And then you get more score. Oh, that's actually cool. They added, something so people can get more points every day. Do your 20 minutes of login or 10 minutes, do your daily quest and log out. And then you get actual rewards now. That's cool. Monsters to grind spot in the Orzekea dungeon. Interesting. Guild missions. Let's see. Guild missions have been in the game for a while. Before the improvement, okay, they're overhauling guild missions. Most notably, you can accept guild missions anytime, anywhere, regardless of server. You can also review the records of accepted and completed missions. Change to require defeating any monster. I think that's good quality of life. Collecting specific life skill things have been more unified or simple, which I think is also good. And it actually shows everything in one UI, which is amazing. That's cool. Basically, UI change, quality of life change, very cool. It shows you rewards now. Excellent. And if you want to read what rewards you get, that's about it. Solaire Hall of Fame. Cool. Barter window is changing to be at the bottom. Wait, hasn't that always been there? Oh, now it keeps it at the same place you were scrolling. That's amazing. That's a nice quality of life. When right-clicking on hunting and world and field bosses, the guidance to spawn has been improved. Nice quality of life, actually. And a bunch of bug fixes. So with that said, I want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to drop a quick like on the video. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. Overall, I thought this was a good patch, a lot of quality of life. If your class was one of the ones who got affected over here, aside from rangers and sages, I don't know if this is a good one. So seems like a lot of nerfs, which I'm really concerned they're taking balance changes off the hardcore server, which I don't think is right because no one will ever get that gear, at least in the near future. So hardcore servers, everyone is like 500 something AP and DP. The highest you can get on live server or like non-hardcore is like 360, and that's the absolute hard cap. And so I really hope they're taking balance changes off of, the main servers and not the hardcore. So that's really something that I hope, if your class is affected, let me know what you think about it. Yeah, that's about it. So with that said, I'll see you guys later. Have a fantastic day. Peace.